she was trying to use the legal system inappropriately.
Federal court's no joke, right? Compared to the state court, federal court, way tougher.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, widely beloved by just about everyone, have landed on the cancellation radar thanks to a lawyer who spilled some pretty startling truths about their behavior.
What Ryan Reynolds forced his daughter to do on Deadpool is one of the most abhorrent things I have ever heard of.
Apparently, no one was spared from their antics, not even their own daughter. After their lawyer walked away and spilled everything, they're starting to come across as somewhat messy in the drama department. And trust me, the entire legal world went into overdrive when word got out about the unexpected resignation of Blake Lively's attorney.
When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's mouth.
He is a certified predator.
Reports soon followed, revealing that this wasn't some run-of-the-mill departure, but was driven by serious conflicts and ethical disagreements. The lawyer, whose identity remains private to avoid a personal blowback, supposedly stepped down due to how weak Blake's case against Justin Baldoni had become, combined with what he deemed her unethical behavior and demands.
Blake Lively might have just done herself in this battle with Justin Baldoni, although she didn't do it intentionally. It was something she said
long before she ever worked with Justin Baldoni.
Right, but there's something she said that has now been resurfaced, and it is right on the nose as far as what the issues are in her battle with Justin Baldoni.
Insiders claim Blake's demands were getting more and more outlandish, expecting legal stunts that bordered on impossible to secure victory in her increasingly chaotic lawsuit. It also didn't help that she was allegedly treating her legal team poorly.
It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process.
Stories emerged of moments where she apparently chewed out her lawyer over minor issues or questioned their strategies in ways that not only caused friction but also caught the attention of those in legal circles, casting doubts on whether her defense could hold up.
He mocked Baldoni in the process. He said, it's an effed up bad situation with what Baldoni, whatever his name is doing.
Naturally, the legal community reacted with a mixture of shock and some outright schadenfreude, though a few felt sorry for anyone attempting to steer a celebrity lawsuit through such turbulent waters. Others see this as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the risks in representing high-profile clients who push for overly aggressive tactics.
They always want to pit women against each other. You don't hear about like Penn and Chase hating each other and being jealous and competitive.
I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
All of this spells big trouble for Blake's ongoing legal fights. With her entire approach out there in the public eye, and her standing among lawyers taking a hit, snagging a new attorney willing to step into this spotlight might be an uphill battle.
Remember Savannah.
It was another promise was no pet monkey. Yeah. Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them.
Switching gears from the legal mess to her personal dealings, Blake Lively has never been free of controversy in Hollywood. Even before this legal blow-up, she had a reputation for being charming, yet capable of stirring the pot.
But Baldoni's lawsuit is so just saturated with text messages and interviews and
he has a good, what I believe is a good faith basis, and this was not done in bad faith.
A striking example came from a former assistant who recounted multiple times when Blake's comments veered into insensitive territory, specifically about the assistant's background and personal life.
She's basically saying, well, them suing me is retaliatory because I made a sexual harassment. I mean, it's kind of absurd, implying that no one can defend themselves.
The problem for her is that, you know, we're all going to speculate how the New York Times got a copy of the Civil Rights Department complaint that, as you know, we talked about should never have been come out in the first place. That was weird.
These questionable behaviors have taken a toll on her work relationships and future gigs. Word on the grapevine is that several directors and co-stars are wary of teaming up with her for new projects, concerned about potential on-set friction and bad press.
and you're invoking this law, but I don't see any malice in the in Baldoni suit, because there is a lot of evidence that maybe this isn't with maliciousness. So the judge, to see that a reasonable jury can find one way or the other, and if there's a tipping balance of fact, I'm not going to kick it away here. So it's a very high burden, and it should be, really. But like you said, this is really designed for when people are called out, like, give me the basis for your lawsuit.
Hollywood's hidden web of media manipulation rarely sees the light unless a major scandal blows it open, revealing how things really run behind the scenes. One of these instances involves Blake's rumored partnership with influential media outlets, including the New York Times, to shape public perception of her during her legal struggles. For example, back in March 2020, the New York Times released a piece not long after Blake filed a lawsuit against Baldoni. It seemed oddly timed and loaded with details for something appearing so soon after court papers were filed. That article painted Baldoni in a pretty unflattering light, which looked suspiciously like more than a simple coincidence, almost like a calculated move, possibly aided by Blake's PR team. Then there's Ryan Reynolds, who's facing his own scrutiny, not from official documents, but from everyday folks online who have slammed his parenting choices during the making of Deadpool. Rumors emerged that Reynolds allowed and even encouraged his little daughter to be around scenes that were wildly inappropriate for someone her age. She even ended up spouting explicit lines that might have been amusing in the movie's context, but crossed a line for many when a minor was involved. Unsurprisingly, people and the media erupted in criticism, taking issue with Reynolds' judgment and the broader notion of including such material in mainstream films. Social media went nuts, with parenting blogs and forums debating the wisdom of exposing kids to adult content under the pretext of acting. This episode raised eyebrows not only about Reynolds' parenting, but also about what Hollywood sees as acceptable for child performers. On top of that, Disney and Marvel gave Deadpool the green light, despite its provocative content, which made some folks do a double take. Known for its offbeat humor and habit of breaking the fourth wall, the film also pushed the envelope on what's permissible in a superhero story, often wading into grown-up themes and explicit material. Disney and Marvel got flack for standing by the film even when it contained such elements. Critics argued that this decision laid bare a contradiction between their image as family-friendly media giants and their actions driven by box office potential. This gap between the image they promote and the content they actually back has sparked bigger questions about the duties of major studios in shaping social and cultural standards through entertainment. Ultimately, the Deadpool uproar showcases the slippery slope of trying to balance creative freedom with moral obligations in today's Hollywood. Meanwhile, the ongoing legal sagas around Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been scrutinized to the max, with every legal maneuver evaluated not just on its legal merits, but also on how it plays out in public. They've gotten tangled in a series of legal showdowns, the most notable being Blake's headline-grabbing case against Justin Baldoni. Their tactics reflect a mix of legal know-how and PR spin, seemingly designed to win over public opinion while they work the court system. One of the more contentious strategies is the suspected use of non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, and hush-hush settlements. Word got out that during the 2020 lawsuit, Blake attempted to employ NDAs to block any unflattering leaks or damaging reports that could tarnish her public image. This move sets off serious ethical debates about how open celebrities should be and how much power they have to manipulate the storyline around their legal wrangles. Additionally, Blake and Ryan allegedly dabbled in forum shopping, choosing to file their cases in places believed to favor celebs. This seemed obvious when Blake decided to bring her lawsuit against Baldoni in a California court, known for its many high-profile celebrity suits and a tendency towards speedy settlements that often benefit the star. Their manipulative PR moves have been particularly visible in how they've controlled the media narrative. It's been noted that they time personal statements or interviews to coincide with crucial court dates or filings. In 2019, Ryan granted a carefully scheduled interview about the responsibilities of parenting right around a hearing tied to allegations of inappropriate conduct involving their child during Deadpool's production. It appeared crafted to offset the bad press and reinforce a feel-good image as caring parents. These legal and PR ploys bring up wider issues, especially concerning their kids and how the public sees the duo. Drafting their children into media storylines or courtroom arguments can have serious psychological outcomes, especially if the kids become aware of the chaos swirling around them. The uproar around Reynolds' parenting on the Deadpool set is a clear example. Claims that he involved his daughter in adult-oriented scenes purely for a laugh caused outrage, with many asking what this would mean down the line for her understanding of boundaries and consent. Of course, these actions shape how the world views them, too. While some fans remain loyal, seeing these maneuvers as necessary defenses against a prying media, Blake and Ryan's critics feel these methods chip away at public trust, arguing the couple manipulates legal and PR channels to duck legitimate accountability. As the legal drama drags on, the intersection of law, media, and private life keeps testing our views on celebrity culture. It raises deep questions about personal boundaries, famous people's obligations, and the media's role in interpreting big-name controversies. The furor around Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds doesn't just tarnish their own reputations. It throws a glaring spotlight on Hollywood's embedded code of silence and complicity, where issues and shady behavior are often brushed aside. This isn't just about Lively Reynolds, it's part of a bigger pattern in the industry. Peeking into how Hollywood reacted to the Lively Reynolds mess feels like déjà vu, recalling the lukewarm or non-existent interventions in other star-spangled debacles. For example, Taylor Swift's 2016 clash with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian put questions of media manipulation and privacy on the front burner, while also exposing power imbalances when big names spar in public. Then there were the 2011 misconduct claims against Bradley Cooper from a fellow performer during The Hangover, where the lack of backing for the accuser highlighted yet another instance of the business favoring bankable talent over principle. These examples underline a pattern in which the most lucrative stars get cover, while lesser-known folks risk being forgotten or sidelined. Now the Lively Reynolds saga has revived calls for industry-wide reform. Activists and critics want more transparent ways to report bad behavior, stronger protections for those who speak up, and a break from the outdated power structures that keep such problems festering. Meanwhile, independent media and content creators have played a huge role in keeping the big shots in check. Smaller outlets and solo journalists frequently emerge as the main sources of direct and unbiased reporting. Take the initial claims about Reynolds' conduct on the Deadpool set. It was an independent blogger who first revealed details that mainstream media overlooked or ignored. Also, social media's rise has dramatically reshaped how we talk about celebrities. Sites like Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram let creators deliver info straight to everyday users, no middleman required. Case in point, when clips from Deadpool featuring those eyebrow-raising scenes were circulated online, public outrage was immediate, pressuring major outlets to pay attention. Because of this shift, social media and indie journalism now hold more sway, not only democratizing content but providing a voice for folks who used to be marginalized. In the context of the Lively Reynolds ordeal, these avenues have deepened the discussion around what it means when celebrities cross certain lines. All of this suggests a turning point in how Hollywood controversies are covered. As the public grows more wary of mainstream media's ties to the entertainment sector, many look to less conventional outlets for the full scoop. We might be entering an age of greater transparency and accountability in celebrity reporting, making it harder for the powerful to keep their secrets under wraps. As the dust continues to fly, the Lively Reynolds fiasco shows just how the relationship between Hollywood, the press, and the public is evolving. Every fresh update highlights that real industry change might hinge on uplifting independent voices and keeping a watchful public on alert. In today's fast-changing world of celebrity coverage, the importance of independent voices and content creators can't be overstated. The ongoing drama involving Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is a prime example of how traditional outlets may be reluctant or biased, thanks to their connections in Hollywood. Independent reporters and creators are stepping in, providing raw perspectives that are often more thorough than what you'll find in mainstream coverage. These smaller players, solo vloggers, digital platforms, and so on use their freedom from big corporate ties to investigate stories that bigger publications either gloss over or ignore. In fact, when the Reynolds and Lively controversy first took shape, It was bloggers and YouTubers outside the mainstream who shined a light on the inconsistencies between the couple's public statements and information leaked from court files. Their findings offered a clearer viewpoint on the chaos, challenging the narratives promoted by more established outlets. This trend of new media is shaking up legacy journalism in crucial ways. Twitter, YouTube, and various podcasts let news spread at lightning speed, letting audiences dissect celebrity lawsuits in real time. And because these platforms don't require the typical editorial go-through, they connect straight to the public. A memorable instance came when a YouTube channel that focuses on legal analysis broke down each court filing in the Lively Reynolds case, highlighting legal intricacies that most mainstream reports barely touched on. This deeper dive not only educated viewers, but also forced larger outlets to up their game, following the new media's lead. The stamp of social media and independent coverage on this scandal is huge. It has fostered open dialogue, in some cases even steering legal moves. For example, a viral Twitter thread compiling every known detail and document about the case grabbed so much attention that traditional media had to follow suit and dig deeper. Looking ahead, the future for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, both legally and career-wise, is murky at best. With the fallout of their lawsuits still unfolding, there's tons of talk about the ripple effect on their professional prospects. Industry folks hint that landing roles in family-friendly or controversy-free productions could become a real challenge. They might pivot to indie projects or even behind-the-camera work, where the glare of publicity is less intense. Of course, their personal lives won't be unaffected either. The nonstop coverage can strain their family dynamic and also affect relationships with people they might collaborate with. If they aim to clear their reputations, we might see them championing privacy rights or pushing for reforms in how Hollywood deals with big scandals. At the heart of this is a real need for openness and accountability in celebrity circles. As the public gets more clued into the power plays and ethical dilemmas in showbiz, there's growing pressure on stars and studios to step it up and act responsibly. Like many scandals before it, this one could spur deeper conversations and maybe real reforms in how we view and hold famous figures responsible. If you want to stay in the loop on any new twists, be sure to subscribe and give this video a like.